So you've returned to the 2 weeks, one-shot Halloween extravaganza spooktacular adventure. Looks like one of our students' luck finally ran out. Will the others make it out alive, or find themselves on the receiving end of a sharp knife? With 1 down and 6 to go, it's going to be a busy night.
Previously on 2 weeks, one shot.
I'm going to take a wild swing with my Malbot katana.
You strike the mask. You see emptiness and nothing.
I work at Madame Savoir's shop downtown. You know it. Should we go there?
Madame Savoir is the local resident psychic. What the fuck are you boys doing here?
Yo, back off, fire bitch.
And this figure seems completely unfazed. Ride or die, bro! Brock and Chad are running off to the security office.
Yo, can we tap that keg and spray him in the face?
I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
Tam grabs the nearest bottle, passes it off to Becky, just slams it over his head.
I don't give a fuck about that. I gotta talk to Lou.
You see a huge figure wearing that burnt out fireman's outfit.
All right, man, round 2.
Brock, no! Brock, you gotta go, man!
And the killer just grabs his hand and holds him there as he brings up the axe.
Guess I'll never be in Rush Hour 3.
The axe comes down, chops into Brock's neck. I need another fear roll from Chad, Tam, and Becky.
I'm sure they're fine. They're fine. They're fine.
This is a straight fear test. There's no penalty applied on this one.
It's just another day in America.
Just another day in college in America. 2010.
I got a fucking 16, but I kind of wanted to fail.
Oh, man.
So sad. I got a 7.
Okay. Becky?
Becky got 12.
All right, cool. So you are all... I mean, Becky's probably still, panicked and still dealing with the original scene that she witnessed and getting scared. But yeah, you guys, you're all sprinting off and you all manage to keep your composure. You sprint up to the campus security office and you are able to throw open the doors and slam them shut behind you. But for Brock, the Rock Edison, his life has come to a close.
He wasn't just the Rock, bro. He was my Rock. Despite the fact that they're in campus security right now, Tam looks like he might be about to throw up. And he reaches into one of his inside pockets on his jacket, pulls out what is very obviously a blunt and a lighter, and lights up and starts smoking.
Fuck yeah.
It's the only way to honor his sacrifice.
Thank you for joining us, John.
You died for a worthy cause. Farewell, Brock.
Farewell, Brock. You bought your friends enough time to get away.
Wow, true sacrifice.
Yeah.
And Chad, you're wearing his jacket still. You've got a piece of him.
Wow.
So he lives on.
I am. That's true.
That'll be a touching moment at the end.
Oh.
Now you have to live.
I'm gonna realize that at some point, and Chad's gonna have a breakdown.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's good.
Real man tears. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
One of your number has fallen, and the rest of you shaken but emboldened by this experience. All of the still living members gain a Benny.
Shit.
That is how you will gain bennies in this one.
That's frightening. Oh, that's rude. That's rude.
So every time one of us dies, we gain power? What fucked up college is this?
Dude, we're all becoming liches.
There's an undead fireman serial killer on campus, so
So many questions.
Okay, it's less that you're absorbing the power of the consumed souls of the dead and more that you're like inspired to fight harder to survive because of their sacrifice.
I like the former.
Does Chad grow twice in size now?
Yes. Chad is now bigger than the fireman. He's 12 and a half feet tall.
But the three of you who'd made it into campus security are shortly after arriving met with the sight of Lou Bannon, campus security chief, who is himself a pretty big guy, more in the paunch than in sheer like brawn and size. But he comes out from the office and is very quickly like, "What's going on?"
Lou.
Yeah. What's happening?
Where's your gun?
What do you mean? Where's my gun?
Where is it?
There's a crazy man outside with a fucking fire axe.
He killed Brock, bro.
What? And Lou quickly rushes to look out the door where, of course, there is no man with a fire axe standing there. He has disappeared back into the night.
Is Brock there?
However, Brock's body can be seen. You can see, like, the one hand, like, up over the top step. And Lou he is staring at the three of you. He knows two of you pretty decently and is not immediately like, they're bullshitting or whatever. And he's like, "You kids get in my office and we'll figure out what's going on."
Is your gun in your office?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Let's go there.
You can't have it.
Just want someone to have it, dude.
Somebody clean up Brock.
Back at Madame Savoir's, Pedro, Isaak, and Alex Grotankaroo have explained the situation. You have relayed to her a little bit about what you discovered, or what you witnessed, and what's been happening. Her face grows a little more pale as you explain some things about what's happening with the matte-colored robes and masks, and the way that they were attacking, and the fact that they were attacking, the three of you in particular, and that, one of them, the mask was knocked free and it had no face behind it, and all of these things. And she's nodding sort of by the end of it.
And none of the parties had buffets. I was promised a smorgasbord through the flyers. It was an absolute nightmare.
You just wanted to say smorgasbord, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It's fun to say. Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
Well, I don't know about buffets, but the rest of that, it's worrying.
Hey, I don't want to interrupt, but I'm still kind of bleeding a little bit, and I just had a great idea. Why don't we call the police?
Call the police?
I'm just throwing it out there.
I suppose you could, although I don't know how much good they'd really be against what you're talking about.
I'm really surprised by the reticence about this idea in the room. It seems like it's the primary idea.
Look, this is something we have to handle on our own. We're here. We're trying to get information. It's the smartest way.
I've got to be honest with you, Alex. I don't think that your American police with their guns will do much to these things. They seem like they're not from this world, I'm not sure that this is the course of action.
And let's be honest, we're going to call them and we're probably going to get shot.
I mean, I can't do anything about this either, man. I mean, I got this sword from the Valley Vista Mall, and I'm just a college kid with a hentai problem. I don't need to deal with this kind of thing.
I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Yeah, you can be grateful it's 2010 and no one else in the room immediately knows what hentai is.
They'll figure it out in a couple of years.
But Madame Savoir shakes her head and says, "You are right about one of them. One of them, maybe, not of this world. Isaak, you can move quicker than I can. Go get the book on the north shelf, the one I told you not to touch."
Oh, yes. I think I know the book you're talking about. I give them another don't say anything, and then I head back to go get the book.
And I give him a strong thumbs up and a wink. A wink.
Great.
Madame Savoir looks over her shoulder again to see what you're doing.
He only has the most amazing things to say about your shop, by the way.
I'm sure.
So I bring the book back.
And she thumps it on the table. It's a very old book, the very worn. It's your classic sort of leather-bound, iron-bound, looks like very old and important. And she starts opening it up and sort of thumbing through things. The pages are filled with old illuminated script and pictures and different things like that. And she's, going through and she's looking up and seems to be thinking for a moment. And she says, "So the one who attacked you," and she points at Alex Grotankaroo, "he had the scissors, you said?"
Yeah, they were garden shears, yeah.
What's your name, young man?
It's Alexander Grotankaroo. It's Alexander Grotankstein the Third.
Grotankstein the Third.
My dad is Alexander Grotankstein, the businessman. He's the hemp farmer from Colorado.
And you are... She swears under her breath a couple of times and keeps paging through. How sure are you that it's these are the... They look like this, and she holds up a page, and it's a slightly newer looking illustration. It looks like it's more from like the 1800s.
Oh,
and it does seem to depict the same sort of figures that you saw in the matte robes and the masks, including one, they're sort of arranged in like a ritual circle of sorts, and the one that appears to be at like the head of the circle is holding the scissors up above its head. And they are the very same ones you saw, right down to the color of the one holding the scissors.
Oh, yes.
Is the same color as the robe.
holy crap! It's the same color as it was in the scissors.
Yeah, these are the same guys.
This has amazing line work, by the way. I'm so impressed.
This is some incredible artwork you just coincidentally had.
Yes, it is a very special book. It's the only one with this quality of illustration. It is a cult that supposedly has existed in and around Brackley for many, many, many years, dating back supposedly to some of the earliest settlers in the region, perhaps even drawing on whatever practices were laid out by the Native American tribes in the area before then. But suffice it to say that if they've taken a liking to the lot of you, that's a bit of a problem, and especially if they've taken a liking to a Grotangstein, your family, supposedly, according to some of this, has had connections with them in the past.
We did?
No, Madame Savoir, they do not like us. They dislike us. That's why they are trying to kill us. I think you misunderstand.
Isaak, it's a figure of speech. It's sarcasm.
Figure of speech. Okay, yes, I'm sorry.
I've been teaching you about these.
Yes.
It's okay, I understand.
Right, okay. I'm with you now.
The point is, if they're trying to kill you, it's for a purpose, and the fact that they're making a move so boldly is worrying, especially if that one, and she points at the one with the scissors, if that one is involved and running around, and from your description of things, I have no doubt that that is the case. That is their god, for lack of a better term, in some sort of humanoid form. I imagine they're trying to conduct some sort of ritual where, well, frankly, my young Alex, if they murder you, it won't be good for any of us.
You mean God is trying to kill me?
Not God with a capital G, a God, lowercase.
But I'm monotheistic. I mean, I'm non-denominational at least.
As I said, God, for lack of a better term, we don't know exactly what it is. No one does, really, but it's something that isn't human, and they worship it.
You know, it's just maybe because of something he's done in the past, or maybe because his family has done something in the past.
I mean, they're big supporters of George W. Bush, but I mean, who isn't?
No, lots of people, but...
Are we supposed to, like, sacrifice him or something? You know, is that how we...
And is it easier if we stab him or if we light him on fire?
No. Quite the opposite. We don't want him dead at all. Well, actually, she does get thoughtful for a moment. She says, I suppose if someone else killed him, it would prevent their ritual from taking place, but...
Oh, man.
That does seem like a rather brutish way of solving the problem.
Okay, well, let's option B. Option B. Okay, what's option A? What do we got?
Option A would be to conduct a counter ritual. Their leader, we'll say that, is, as you noticed from your sword swing, you can't kill it. It has a humanoid body, but it's not as mortal as we are.
That sucks.
But it does have a weakness. If you conduct the counter ritual to unsummon, to banish it, it will work. It has no power to resist that. A beginner could do it if they know how, if they understand the procedure.
How do you know all this?
I might just be a fake psychic living in a college town, swindling tourists out of their money, but...
Hey, your words, not mine.
You're fake?
But I do know some things that are more real than we'd ever like them to be.
Okay.
Well, ma'am, if this is a ritual for beginners, we're in luck because we're all beginners. So let's do this.
Well, you three certainly are.
Tell it to me straight, ma'am. George Bush did 9/11, didn't he?
Nope, not.
I was reading online that the jet fuel cannot melt the steel beams.
That's what they'd always told me. I mean, Dad said that at home all the time.
I thought you said they were big supporters of George Bush.
They're big supporters, but also 9/11 truthers.
I know, they kept showing up to all the meetings. I overheard so many different meetings and groups.
They were involved. That they're that level of supporter. That's why he's saying it.
I feel like I've met this person in real life.
Osama bin Laden came to my bar mitzvah.
No, the Grotangsteins, they believe that George Bush committed the conspiracy to do 9/11, but they think it was a good thing.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Oh no, even worse.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Okay.
Are you sure we can't just take the kill him option?
yeah, I gotta be honest, I didn't think that take could get hotter. Holy shit.
Alex, would you say it got hot enough to melt steel beams?
Yikes.
She nods and says, well, all of you are beginners maybe, but like I said, I know a few things. I can certainly help lead or help with the conduction of the ritual. There are 3 things that you need to gather, and she points them out. Let me roll real quick. 3 d20s. This is all purely for flavor of what you're being sent to go out and find. But you need to find, for this ritual, a cup of alcohol. That'll be tricky.
Very easy. She's probably got some.
You need to find 22 strands each of brunette, blonde, and red hair.
We need to find 66 strands of hair.
And you need to find 12 ounces of river water.
Oh, that's easy. My apartment has river water. It's a terrible problem. Talking to my landlord all week.
I think the water spigots outside the houses are also this canal water, so perhaps.
Oh, yeah, or that too.
It needs to come from the river. It's not that far away.
Right.
You can drive out to the river and get it, but you need to get that.
Fine.
What color is Madame Savoir's hair?
Madame Savoir's hair is mostly gray, but it used to be black.
What color is Isaak's hair?
Yeah, he's got dark hair.
Okay. What about Alex Tsaghratsu? Is he a redhead?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's redhead.
I assume it's dyed.
No, it's real.
What's the third color we need?
Blonde.
Oh man, Pedro's blonde. What a surprise! Wow.
Pedro Rubio.
Those are the 3 things you need to gather. You get them, and we'll meet at the campus chapel. That's as good a place as any. It'll work well. The atmosphere is perfect, and the spiritual resonance,
It's a great place to kill a god.
ironically enough, I suppose.
All right, campus chapel, strands of hair, cup of river water, cup of alcohol. Madame Savoy, I know you have some various alcohols. Can we just grab that here?
Also, maybe like some alcohol for the wound in my leg.
Right. Oh, yes, I should
Do
probably
either of you
help.
know first aid?
Yes.
Can you fix that so he stops bitching about it?
I will patch him up. Yes, sorry.
All right, you take care of that. Yes, get the... I have alcohol in... As she starts to, gesture towards her home side of the house, there's a sudden loud shattering of glass as the front window bursts inward with glass, and 2 of the robed figures tumble in. They were probably trying to do, a cool dynamic entry, jump in, ha, getcha, but, one of them goes through the glass and is, you're pretty sure, falling on the ground bleeding because it cut through the robes. And the other one just sort of, trips and stumbles as it comes in and ends up sort of slamming on the floor. As this happens, Madame Savoir reaches under one of her legs, pulls the revolver out again, and says, change of plans. You boys go get the stuff. We'll meet at the chapel.
Dude, I want to know more about Madame Savoir.
I like her.
Back door on my side. Isaak, you know where it is.
I do. Let's go. Hurry.
I'll come back for you.
I almost feel bad for the guy's masks.
And the 3 of you start running to the accompaniment of a quick couple of shots ringing out behind you as you book it out the back door.
Maybe I should get a gun.
Hey there, it's Alex. Madame Savoir is just the coolest. Thanks for coming back for episode 3 of our Mischief Night adventure. It's still surreal we're doing weekly episodes this month. All right, let's do some announcements. First, you know him, you love him. It's our special guests. We got Derrick from How Not to DM.
Make sure to visit linktr.com/HN2DM to hear his interviews with different DMs and creators in the tabletop RPG community. That's linktr.com/HN2DM. We also have John or Hugin, who can be found at twitch.tv/Hugin Plays. That's twitch.tv/HUGINN Plays. And of course, Ashleigh at twitch.tv/Ashleigh. That's twitch.tv/ASHBLEIGH. Also, a big thank you to rolemusic for this adventure's theme song titled The Black Kitty, One Man Symphony for the additional scene music throughout the episode, Indie Bear Music for providing The Thing in the Fog, that great John Carpenter-esque track you've been hearing throughout the adventure, and, of course, to the contributors at freesound.org for all the sound effects and ambient noises you're hearing. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all by searching TwoScast. That's TWOS Cast. And be sure to use the hashtag TwoScast to say hello. And if you're going to say hi, why don't you tell one of your friends to say hi too? We don't do any sort of advertising right now, so word of mouth is really the best tool out there to help us grow. Make sure to tune back in on October 26th for the thrilling conclusion of Mischief Night. Is it weird if your reflection in the mirror stops copying you? Because mine stopped moving entirely this whole week. Wait, it's asking me to come closer.
Over at campus security, Chad, Becky, and Tam are in Lou's office. He does, after bringing you in, lock the door. He goes into his desk and pulls out a shoulder rig that he straps on and then slots a gun into that and then sort of sits down in his chair, folds his arms. So, some guys in robes and masks are running around with hammers and other hardware tools, and some psycho with an axe in a fireman's outfit.
Like an old one. An old fireman's outfit.
Like an old fireman's outfit, doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Hadi, I won't ask you, because I think I know the answer, but Ms. Wise, Mr. Reiner Hawkins, have either of you been imbibing in anything tonight?
I would like to remind you that Tam is currently smoking in this man's office.
Thus why he looks at him and says, I think I know the answer to that one, but for the other two of you, have you been taking anything tonight?
I pre-gamed like hours ago, but I feel like I'm really stone cold sober right now because that dude came up with an axe and it was just no.
I haven't had a drop. Lou, as you know, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Like, come on, man. There's a dead body on your front step. You can't say this didn't happen.
He knows my dad, all right? Both of them.
I'm just trying to make sure that anything you're saying... Look, the fact of the matter is that, yes, I can see that something has happened out there, and obviously it's not any good, but I'm just trying to find out what it is. There's a big difference between, someone murdered a student versus someone is dressed up like they're trying to play Halloween and murdering multiple students, or there's a whole bunch of them running around.
Listen, Lou, you know I hold my liquor. There's something fucked up, all right? We're not imagining this. There was a big man with a fire axe, and he murdered Brock. He's right out there.
A moment after you give that sort of exclamation, there's a sort of knocking, thumping sound on the side of the wall of Lou's office. It sounds like it's coming from the other side.
Shoot it!
No. That would be... All right, everybody, stay behind me. Keep an eye out. Shout if you see whatever coming out. You gotta see what's going on with her.
You got like a baton or something?
I'm not giving you a baton, Chad.
Oh, come on, man. I'm on the baseball team.
He sounds very exasperated and he opens another one of the drawers of one of the desks in the office, and as he's rifling through it, he turns around and says, "None of you are gonna brag about this to other students or talk about things beyond this night. I'm only doing this because of what you've said so far and gut instincts. And you're to turn these in as soon as we finish our business tonight." And he hands each of you a handheld stun gun. Not a taser, but like the kind that you jam into someone and it shocks them.
Yeah.
He seems a little more hesitant before handing it to Tam.
Which is fair. That's fair.
But he does hand one over to all three of you.
Tam does make a show of good faith by stubbing out his blunt and putting the rest of it in his pocket.
Wow, loose blunt in the pocket.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
Tam lives dangerously.
Clearly.
That's begging for like a pocket full of leaves any minute.
We gotta see what she wants. Probably overheard the whole damn conversation. No soundproofing on these. The campus security office, it's not built like a full jail with like lockup cells or anything. Chad and Tam certainly, I think. Probably Becky too. All three of you would be familiar enough with. These are the rooms where security usually puts students to let them like, sleep off a night or calm down a little bit when they've been picked up or something.
Certainly never been in there before.
It's not quite the drunk tank, but it's basically the drunk tank.
Yeah, it's like the college's equivalent of the drunk tank. And in there, you see a girl that each of you, roll common knowledge for me real quick.
Common knowledge. All right.
Because you might recognize her.
I need to check one of my edges real quick.
That is a 5.
All right.
3.
3.
Do I get my streetwise bonus from this?
Not on this one.
Okay.
Nah, she doesn't really run in the streetwise circles.
Oh, I get a 5 anyway.
All right, cool. Chad and Tam each, you recognize immediately who this is as he brings you around to the not quite a drunk tank. And you see in there, she is a very short young woman, like maybe 5 feet. Looks like she might weigh 90 pounds soaking wet. She is wearing like the very 2010 era, like goth scene type clothes. Her hair is so black that it has to be dyed. And Chad and Tam recognize that this is Summer Smiles, who is well known on campus as something of an oddball. She's a senior, and she's most well known as the president of the Occult Research Club. And unlike most members of the Occult Research Club who are like sort of in it for, kicks or whatever, she takes it very seriously. Many would say too seriously. Lou opens the door and ushers for everyone to come inside. There's benches and stuff to sit on in here. He steps in and locks the door behind him and just sort of raises an eyebrow at her, and she says, "I overheard some of what you were talking about, and I think I know what it is. The same thing that you dragged me in here for earlier in the night."
Wait, you saw the dudes in masks?
No, I didn't see the dudes in masks, and frankly, I'm not entirely sure what they are, but your man with the axe, I can take a guess as to who that is. Lou is just shaking his head, and you hear him mutter something about, "You were picked up for trying to break into one of the buildings after library's closed tonight. I don't know what you were doing. Just doing my job." You said it's a big, huge man in an old fireman's outfit, but burned all over?
Yeah, with a big axe. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's the one.
What, are you friends with him?
No, I'm not friends with him. She gives Becky, like, if looks could kill, man. No, I'm not friends with him. That's the slasher.
He leans in like real close.
She leans back a little bit.
He keeps going. He's way too freaked out. You mean like the slasher? Like the slasher?
The 7th Street slasher?
Yeah, that one.
Yes, that's the one.
That's fucked up.
No shit.
Astute assessment by Chad.
Listen, I don't know what you want from him. His best friend just died.
No, hey, I'm not going to say any different.
Lou is once again shaking his head and comments to the effect of the 7th Street slasher being nothing more than a trumped up urban legend. But Summer Smiles is shaking her head and like, nope, that's the one.
Wait, I've heard like 4 different versions of that story, man. None of them talk about a fire from it.
That's because all the versions of the story that people like to toss around here are full of nothing but bullshit and stupidity. They're fun for spooking each other around a campfire or late at night in the dorm rooms, but they're not true.
So like, what are we gonna do about like the slasher?
Well, actually, as far as I know, nothing, but from what I can guess from the research I've done, there are 2 things we can do. We can try and kill him again the way he died the first time, or we can try and settle his spirit somehow.
How'd he die the first time?
Isn't it obvious from the look? He burned to death.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So can we burn him again?
In theory, if you can get him in a location and then set it on fire.
I know a dude the next storm over who has like some super soakers. Do we have like some gasoline or... Lou, you got any gasoline?
Lou is shaking his head again.
Tam looks very conflicted over the fact that he is on Lou's side right now. He looks very uncomfortable. Do we have to burn someone to death?
Kill Brock, man.
What's this settling the spirit thing?
That could be done with, well, a ritual a lot like any other for settling spirits, banishing ghosts or demons or whatnot. You need the right components for it, but if we can find those, then I like to think I could make it happen.
Would like to pitch the super soaker idea again. There is a Sheetz, like they have a gas station. I've got a gas can in the back of my car. I'm just saying.
We've got so much vodka.
Am's probably got a lighter, right?
Yeah, I carry a lighter, probably have some matches in the car too, just in case. So about this ritual.
Well, I was going to try and find out what the final components were when someone decided to be an establishment pig and drag me into this holding cell against my will.
Listen, Lou's a good guy. He's just doing his job, all right?
Tam offers her a fist bump the instant Lou isn't looking.
Don't you fist bump about Lou.
She doesn't really take it. She just looks at it. She gives you a very slight smile. Look, the library has lots of old books, old sections, but it's very possible that there's something in there. I think I know what book might have the final information I need. The point is, I just need to be able to find out what the last component is. It's something to do with hair, but I don't know what kind of hair.
Lou, you got keys for every building on campus, right? We could go find it.
You're asking me to let you into the library so that you can find out what kind of hair you need to banish a ghost?
You could alternatively let me into the chemistry lab so I can set him on fire.
Right, I'm gonna escort you kids to the library. Nobody's getting out of my sight while we're doing this.
It's really convenient that the same components are needed for both rituals.
Yeah.
Wacky how that happens.
Yeah, wow.
It's almost like there might have been two rituals, but we've been playing for a while. So.
It's almost like we're running out of time.
We gotta try and make this shit happen.
Were you planning on this, or were you hoping we'd all go in the same direction?
I had no idea what was gonna happen, so...
The great DM skill of improvisation.
Amazing.
There's only one thing for certain that I know Brian knew going into this, and it's that I would push to set the dude on fire.
There you go. There you go.
When you guys hatch your plans, you decide on everything together. In the interest of time and simplicity and getting to the key thing that is going to be like the really cool part at the end of this, you are able to acquire the components. You find the components. Alex, Grotankaru, Isaak, and Pedro are the first ones who are really like on the hunt for these components because they already know what they are. Chad, Becky, and Tam accompany Summer and Lou to the library. You unlock it, you get in. There's some tense like searching around in the books for what it's gonna be. Probably Axe Guy shows up at least one more time, spooks everyone like, he's right there, but you all get away.
Out a fucking window, out a fucking window, out a fucking window, run.
Chad throws a book at him.
You dive out of windows, you throw books at him. Summer orders Chad and Lou to knock a bookcase over and it collapses on top of the guy, and that gives you enough time to get out of there.
This is the montage part of the movie.
We could have set those books on fire, okay? All I'm saying.
Once you determine the components of the ritual, Summer suggests that you head over to the chapel because that's probably the best place on campus to conduct such a ritual. Lou insists that the entire group go there together, at least at first, before trying to go get these components. And as luck would have it, everyone convenes at the chapel at the same time.
What?
Bursting in and finding each other in the main chapel hall.
Who the hell are these losers?
Hey guys, have you seen like a really attractive old woman in a wheelchair with a handgun?
Bro, you got some problems.
Oh no.
Alex Grotankaru, Chad the Lad Reiner Hawkins, Isaak Tsaghratsu, Pedro Zavaleta, Becky Wise, Tam Hadi, Summer Smiles, Lou Bannon, Madame Savoir, sadly not Brock the Rock Edison.
Rip. Pour one out for Brock.
He was my world, bro.
Rest in peace, man. But the rest of you all convene in the chapel, and after a little bit of hijinks of, who are you? What's going on? What are you doing here? oh, we're all here for the same thing. Great.
We'll save that banter for the Patreon.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Summer Smiles and Madame Savoir, for what it's worth, seem to have like there's a bit of tension there for a little bit as they sort of curtly address one another. But upon figuring out that you're all trying to do the same thing, they do realize that we can all work together to engage in this final act. And that final act is going to be pulling off the ritual itself. As you get the components in place, you draw magic circles and all that good shit. They're getting everything in place, but as that's happening, you do begin to hear the sounds of slamming on the locked doors of the chapel, glass being broken as things are being thrown through windows. You are certain that this place is basically under siege by the very things you are attempting to rid yourselves of. But, go ahead and do something like that for me. So I would say,
Did you just burp in the middle of that line, man?
Wow.
Come on.
I did burp in the middle of that line. It was terrible.
Good job.
What the hell?
I wasn't sure if it was going to get picked up or not. I don't know what happened there. It was bizarre.
Yeah, of course it got picked up. This is an audio medium.
That was such a bizarre moment of just like, I don't normally burp in the middle of things like that. That was just,
I mean, I know this is just like a little role playing among friends.
Yeah.
Like, we're
my God.
it's like we're sitting around the table eating Pizza Hut, but damn,
Listen, guys. Pedro's not the only one with a drinking problem. I'm sorry.
Heyo.
Is this going to be another return to Witch Mountain?